on something called data structures. Data structures, I have divided into two modules. Data structures 1 and data structures 2. Data structures 1, we are going to look on lists and tuples. It means by the end of this class, you're supposed to know the difference between loops and tuples. That is data structures 1. In data structures 2, we are going to check on dictionaries and sets. So it means that by the end of the second class, which is next week on Monday, classes are usually Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you are supposed to be good in dictionaries and sets. So it means that at least tuples, dictionaries, and sets are all under what? Data structures. But because we could not cover it in one class, I decided to divide it into two. Remember, we have a total of 16 modules. So after we cover data structures, we are going to go to the next module that is close to data structures, which is called file handling in Python. I think that's where we're going to see how to handle different files. So allow me to present my PyCharm screen. The same file that I use today is the same that I keep using. I don't usually create new because anytime someone will request me to send him the Python file the PyCharm file that contains everything done under this course, I can just share a file that contains everything. So this file here that I'm presenting, you can see it on the screen. This one contains everything from class 1. I usually divide it into very smaller sections that you can easily follow. By the end of our 15th module, because module 16 is all about tackling real-world projects, combining everything that we've learned, I'll share this file. But I believe that when you follow up these videos, you can always create a file like this one. So today I'm going to continue on this. As usual, I told you, if you want to create a new Python file, you come here in your project name. Project is data science, this data ski, the short form. So you can see all these files are the past 3 classes that we've been having. So when you come here in your project name, when you right click, you are able to create a new. You'll see new option new. When you click on it, it will allow you to create a new. Then you can give it a name. So today I can give it a name, list and tuples, because this is data structures, or let me call it data structures 1. So when you write the name and press enter, the file is going to be formed. You can see this is a blank area. Now we have it. You can see it is still forming. Then after forming, you can see this is where you write your codes. So today, I usually write everything that we are supposed to cover. Then after I've written everything, we are going to mark one by one to confirm that we've covered everything. So under data structures 1, we are going to cover list and the first thing. So I'm putting a hashtag that is commenting so that it doesn't affect my code. We are going to check on introduction to data structures. Number 2, we are going to check on lists, and under lists, we are going to check on indexing, slicing, and methods, applicable methods. Okay. Then number 3, we're going to introduce tuples. Under tuples, you're going to check properties and cases. You're going to know the difference between list and tuples. Okay. Number 4, what you're supposed to cover, let me recall. Oh, list comprehensions. I was forgetting this. Comprehensions. Number 5 is a looping through list and tuples. Then the last thing has to check is a basic operation. Our topic is what? Lists, tuples. This is what you are going to check, okay? 6 things. So we finish one, we come and mark it. We finish the second, we come and mark it until we are done with it. Normally our classes take 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes because I introduce you to the syntax of everything. Then we check examples. I give one assignment that is not compulsory. You can just try it because you're still going to have projects that will combine everything that you're covering. So I want us to introduce and get to know the difference between the list and tuples. Okay. So lists and tuples are two fundamental data structures in Python that allows you to store and manipulate collections of data. So anytime you hear about lists and tuples, just something that should be at the back of your mind is about storing and manipulation of collection of data. So lists and tuples will all store data, but now what is the difference between lists and tuples? Because they all store data, but what is the difference? You're going to know it. So by the end of this class, I want you to know the difference between lists and tuples. I want you to be able to create and manipulate the lists and tuples once you've created them. You create and then you manipulate it. Then another thing I want you to know by the end of the class is common operations and methods applied to lists and tuples. Then the last thing is comprehensions for efficient code. So that is it. Let me create a new file that is going to deal with what? Lists. So here, let me comment and define a list. So list is what? I know it is used to store data. Okay? But how do you define it? You say this is an ordered. You must say it's an ordered because you must order your data while storing. You ordered mutable. What do I mean the term mutable? Let me put in bracket. By the time mutable, I mean changeable. Meaning, once you store something in the list, you can change it. Collection items. Okay? So another thing you're supposed to know is a list. List is able to store different types of data. Okay, starting from what? It can store integers. It can store strings that are introduced in class 1, and you can store another list. So you can store a list inside a list. Number 2, a list and see how is a list created. Now that you know it is used to store something, I want us to create a list called fruits. So you start a name depending with how the name that is better for you, and anything in a list is stored and separated with a comma. And just like in R, if it's an integer, you don't put it in double quotes, but if it is not an integer, something like a character, you must put it in double quotes. So and you must store them in curly bracket. That is the rule. So curly bracket at the box bracket. Fruits, let us store what? F, comma what? Let me say, then the last thing I want to store is cherry, the fruit as well. And another thing I want to store, maybe let me store numbers. Let me normalize it so efficient. So numbers, curly bracket. So let me store 1. You see here I'm not using double quotes because I've told you why. These are integers, they are numbers. So you don't need to put them in double quotes. You can see now this one is dealing with character, this one is numbers. But what if you have the one that is mixing both characters and numbers? That is very easy. How? Let me just call it. Do that. Of course, it must be box bracket. Then you want to store different things like let me say Mercedes, then comma 34. So that is a number. No need to put it in quote. Okay. Another thing, maybe chair. You must put it in quote. It's a character. Lafu. The last thing can be a decimal. Also can be stored 45.8. So this is our list. But you see, when you run this code, here is the run button, the green one. When you run it, nothing output, but there's no error. When Python tells exit code 0, it means there's no error. So if you want your list contained, you use the print function. Then bracket, maybe print fruit. Then I can print what is numbers. But I should not be, when you are printing, no need to put them in double. Then the last thing can be print. The last one is called list. So let's run and see what is going to be our output. You can see fruits, apples, banana, cherry. Then I have the numbers and I have the mixed list containing both the characters and the numbers. So this is just creating a list. Get the syntax. You start with the name of the list, put an equal sign and assign values inside a list. Another thing, how do you, if you want to access, for example, you've created a list called fruits and you're having like 50 fruits and I want to access specific type of fruit. Are you going to print the output and start searching manually banana? Where is banana? No, you're not going to. Okay? How can you search items in a list? So I want to teach you how to do what? Accessing items in a list. How do you access items in a list? You just print, because of course you want it to be in your output. You say print, then you write your list, maybe fruits, and then you must put an index. Okay? When accessing listing an item, let me put here a hashtag and say use indexing. Indexing starts from 0. So the first item is index 0. So here apples is 0 because it's the first item in our list, so it is index 0. And of course, if you want to that has already been stored in Python, we should the box bracket. Okay, 0. I want us to see what it's going to give us, the output. When you run, you can assume these ones because came last time. Check apples has been added because it is index 0. What if you change this to index 2 and then you run? What is index 2? Index 2 is cherry. You will see it here. So if you want to access items in a list, use indexing. What if we say 3? You're already getting your answer. You are going to error because we have 0, 1, and 2. Okay? So this is how if you want to access items in a list, you access them with indexing. And index that I want to show you, do you know you can use negative indexing? Negative indexing is if you want to access items from, or you want to start with the last item. Let me copy this, the same thing. Now we are not going to use a positive number. We want to access negative, do we have negative 2? Let me run and see the result. Okay, to avoid confusion, I can comment on this. Let me comment on it. It's not going to affect our code. Let me run and see. Negative 2 is banana. Why? So this one is this is, remember, start from a 0, okay? So cherry is negative 1, banana is negative 2, apple is negative 3. Let me try to see negative if it's going to bring cherry. Okay, you can. So if you want to start from behind, don't start with a 0, okay? 0 is a positive now because, okay, it is in the middle, so it's treated as a positive. But if you want to start from behind, you don't start with a negative 0, just start with negative 1 to access the last item in your list. So if you're given a list and they want you to generate the last item, don't struggle to guess like, okay, what can be, is it 50? Let me try 50. No, just say negative 1 and it's going to give you the last item in the list. Another thing is I want to teach you something called slicing. What is slicing? Slicing is extracting a portion of a list, or from the list. English is Englishing. Extracting a portion of a list from the list sounds better. From we are not here for grammar classes. How? Let me say you want to extract from 0 to 2. How are you going to write that? The same thing, print, then you're going to say, call your list name, fruits, box bracket, and say you want to access from 0. So you don't write to 2. That's an error. 2, you just use a code. Let's try and run. So to avoid to see the result for this one, I'm going to comment on it. So let me see. You can see it's bringing apples, bananas. I hope these ones are not confusing you, these ones, because these one are our initial results from the full list. So you can see it's bringing apple, bananas, 0 to 2. So apple, banana. Why? Why is it bringing 0 to 2? Because it's starting at 0 and ending at 2, and we agreed that this is index 0, this is index 1, and that this is index 2. Why? This syntax, I want to show you how this syntax is working. Let me put a comment so that I don't affect my code. This syntax is working like this. Print fruits is the same, but once you open the box bracket, this is how the syntax is working. Start, colon end, colon step. This is usually the syntax. You start with start, end, and step. Okay? So, what am I trying to mean by this syntax? The print function is accessing the fruits list. It starts at 0 and end at 2. Okay? But now I want to confuse this one here. Let me try to confuse it. How do I confuse this one? Let me say print open fruits, and I put bracket. Then I don't assign the 0. I just say 2. Okay? I just say 2. Let me hashtag this one so it doesn't. I want to see what this one is going to return. It is returning apples and bananas. Why? Because if you don't specify where it should start from, what is going to happen? It is going to start at the beginning. So if you don't specify a 0 is the beginning. You fail to specify it, it is still going to return it. It's like doing this. Let's say print fruits, then box bracket, then let me say 1. Don't specify the end. Then I run. See, it's going to return banana cherry. Why? It's starting from index 1 banana to index 2 cherry. So I've not specified where it should stop from, meaning if I come here and add mango, guava, and then I run banana, cherry, mango, guava, meaning it is going up to the end because I've not specified the end. So it's picking everything from index 1 to the last because I've not specified the last thing. So you can see how it is very easy and interesting to access items from a list. I will hashtag on this one. When I hashtag on something, I don't want it to affect. I want to show you. What if you want to modify your list? Modifying a list. Why are we modifying a list? Do you remember when defining, is it here? I told you, oh no, here, under list. I told you list is an ordered, mutable, meaning it's changeable, meaning you can edit items. When you store, you can still come and edit the items. So let us remain with the example. We avoid confusion. Let us remain with cherry. Up to cherry. I want us to modify the list. So it is possible to modify because it's mutable is also meaning changeable. let's say, what is our index 1? When you print fruits index 1, you get banana. Okay? But if I want to change, so let me just print. Not just talking without doing. I say fruits, I run. Index 1, I get banana. So if you want to edit banana and change it to blueberry, how are you going to do that? You just say fruits index 1, you see, curly bracket 1, box bracket 1, then you say, like, I'm trying to replace the value at index 1 with a blueberry. So because it's a character, I put it in quote. So let me run and see. Then I'm going to check my, so what I'm going to do, comment on, check my code. So let me run. Remember, initially we had banana. So I've changed index 1 to blueberry. Now let me print fruits, you see. I say print fruits. And I run. Apple, blueberry, cherry. Have you confirmed that blueberry has been replaced by, banana has been replaced by blueberry? So if I run this one, print fruit, you're going to see our index 1 here is banana. So you can see how you can modify your values in a list. This is just modifying, okay? But what if you are asked to do what? What if you are asked to, let me say, remove, or let me start with it, adding elements in a list. So let's add back what? Let's add orange in our list. So if you want to add in a list, there are some functions in Python that you use. To add, you use append. Append means to add. To remove or to delete, as a function, okay? Okay, I want us to add inside fruits. How do we add? We use append. Let's add apple. No, not apples. We already have apple. Let's add orange. So it's dot append. So you say, you call append using the dot append. Then you just say orange. Okay, then let's going to come. So after doing, you print fruits. Then let's run. Going to be added. Can you see? Cherry is here. It has been added. No. Sorry, I'm confusing. Orange is here. Has been added as our inside our list. So you use dot append. So let us do what? Okay, this one you can see by default if you add something. This is what I'm trying to control Z. This is what I'm trying to say. Let us add mango. So fruits dot append mango. Run. Then it's going to print fruits. What has been added? Mango. So what is happening? If you use append, adding to add values in your, the value is added at the end. You see, after orange, mango. If you add avocado right now, it is added at the end. So it grows the list. Towards the end. What if you add at a specific position? If you want to add at a specific position, use insert. So it adds at a specific position. Okay. Let us do what? Let us use insert here. I want us to insert grape. So you say fruits. So For you to add at a specific place, what do I mean? I mean, you must specify the index. Do you want it to appear at 0, 1, 2? Remember, 0 is the first index, 1 is the second index. So when you use a pen, it goes to the end. So if you want to add at a specific position, use insert, meaning you must specify which index do you want to insert your new fruit, your new item in the list. So fruits dot insert the bracket. So let's add it where after the first one. The first one is apple. Apple is 0. Then banana is 1. Let us add it 1 so that it our index 1 is no longer going to be banana. It becomes the grape. Let's add grape. So you say 1 dot. So you can see by fix for me. This is index. Can you see it here in my screen? And our object is this one. So index object, it has discovered by default. So let me run and see. You can see now we have apple, grape, banana, cherry. Who has realized something? Do you know that banana has been deleted? See, has not been deleted. It has just been fixed. Like banana was our initial index 1. Right now our index 1 is, remember, this is index 0, this is index 1. So insert, you can specify the index where you want to add your specific value in the list. So another thing, let me comment on that. Another thing I want to show you is we are just been adding. So let's removing items in a list. I said because I already said it. I said use remove. It is here, remove. If you want to delete, use remove. I explained here. So I want us to remove. Let's remove what? Let's remove grape, the one that we just added. Okay. So it's going to be fruits dot remove. What do you specify and say? You not go see grape there, but it's bringing an error. So where is the error? Where is the error coming from? Let me try and see. Do I have grape? Grape is there because I've added it. The error is saying fruits remove grape, list remove X not in list. So it's saying that grape is not in the list. Okay. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to hashtag this first and then I print fruits. I just want to see. Oh, it's not there. So let me first run these fruits. So where were we inserting grape? Oh, guys, you're not telling me. We've already removed it, so it is not supposed to appear. Okay, so I'll add it first. Then I print fruit. So, oh, moved and I'm confusing. I thought I'm wrong. So, fruit, insert grape. Let me see. Then fruits. Grape is here. I've inserted. Then I come here and say fruits that remove grape. Hashtag fruits that remove. So let me first hashtag on print. So grape is there. I run. I see X not in the list. Remove grape. Let me try and say print fruits. Now I hashtag this one here. Sorry. Let me hashtag on this. So run my code. Grape is no longer existing. So use dot remove. Use dot remove to do it. Another thing I want to teach you here. You know you can remove using pop. So if remove using remove, but you can remove using pop. So how does this work? You say popped item. Let me give it a name. For example, you want to remove and check. Pop does what? It removes it removes and returns the value removed. So let me call a pop. What do we have in our fruits? Let's pop cherry. Cherry is index 2. So pop is equals to, you're going to say fruits dot pop. You see, that is how it works. So like dot remove, here use dot pop, and you say true. So here you don't write the name of the fruit, you write its index. Then after doing that, I want to print. So you're not going to print fruits. You're going popped item, because this is the name you assigned here. So popped item. Then after there, let me print fruits. Let me run and see. So you can see cherry was okay. You can see pop. What does pop does? It removes and then it returns what has been removed. And then when I use print fruits, you can see cherry is not there because it has been popped away. It was the one at index 2. So that is how the pop works. A summary of this. Should be using hashtags. Append, add an element where at the end of the list. Insert should be putting that because these are functions. Functions are indicated like that. So adds an element at a specific index. We have what? Remove the first occurrence of a list or of an element. What else? Pop. Remove an element at a specific what index, or it removes the last element. If you don't specify the index, pop will remove the last element. That's what I want you to know. Sort. We have sort. I've not covered that, but it's there. From just the name, it arranges a list in ascending order. Reverse. We have also reverse. It reverses the elements of a list. Index. Returns the index of the first occurrence of a list. So meaning if you don't specify, for example, index 1, index 2, it will always return 0. But if you specify index 2, it will return index 2. That's why I define it as it returns the index of the first occurrence of a list. Then you have count. Count does what? Count. It counts the number of occurrences of a value. Okay, let me give you some examples. I've covered this. Let me try to give you an example and a sort. Let's say I have numbers. No, let me call it numbers. I already have numbers. So numbers, I have curly bracket. I have 5 or 4, 1, 8, 9, 5. Then when I sort, does what? Arranges in ascending order. So numbers dot sort, not numbers, it's numbers. Then after doing that, after sorting, you must print your numbers. Let me run and see you. Can see it's here 1, 4, 5, 8, 9. So it has started from the smallest to the largest. See, we had 4, 1, 8, 9, 5, but here is 1, 4, 5, 8, 9. Okay, so that is what sort does. Reverse does what? Let's say numbers dot reverse. I see what it does. I'm supposed now to print numbers. I run. You can see initially it was 41895. When I sort from this, it arranges from smallest to largest 14589. When I reverse, it comes to 98541. So this one is like it arranges in descending. Okay, that is as simple as it is. Index we checked. Let's see count. Count, of course, it counts. Let me say print. No, print. Okay, I want to see how many in fruits we have apples, bananas. So I want to see how many times do you know I define this as counts the number of occurrences of a value, not in a list, of a value, specific value. So fruits print dot count. I want you to show me how many apples do we have. So apple, I put it like this. It is not count, it is count. So for example, if they give you an assignment that they want you to count how many occurrences of a certain thing is there in a list, you use count. You can see it as return 1. So apple appears only once. Okay? Yeah. So if you append let's say here, say fruits dot append and say apples, then I want to print fruits. Are we really in fruits here? So run fruits dot append. You can see we have apple, apples 2 times. I've appended and I've added. So when I print fruits dot count, I want to count how many times apple appears. Now it is 2 and not 1. So you can see how that is very easy. Another thing, so all these I want to comment on them. I want us to check on something called, I said you're going to check, hey, that echo, I don't know where it's coming from. List comprehensions. Let's check on list comprehension. So this one, what does it do? This one just provide concise. How is concise written? Way to create list. Okay, so mostly they are used to apply operations operation to each element in an existing list. Okay, okay. So let me say maybe I want to create a list. I want to show you how comprehension works. Let me create a list called squares, a list of squares. I will not assign a number, so I'll just do what? Creating list of squares. So it's going to be squares is equals to, don't put anything first. Then I say I want a range of maybe 10. So if you want to put a range in Python, you say for x in range 10. See, then I say squares. I'll show you the output. So I know what I'm doing. Squares do append. Let me check x times 2, just like a sample. Then I come and say print squares, run. So it's here, 10 numbers, x times 2. So range of 10 is going to bring numbers from, of course, a range of 10 is going to bring numbers from 1 to 9. So after bringing range of 10 numbers inside these squares, because I've put an empty curly bracket, I want to do what? I specify the range. Then after specifying, I want to get the squares of the numbers in the range. So I'll say squares, because that is what is storing my numbers after being created here, dot append. So I add items and say x times 2, meaning any number that has been generated should be squared. Okay, so you can see 1 to 9, 1 squared 1. Okay, start from 0 to 9, sorry, for it to make up to 10. 1 times 2, or 1 squared 1, 4 squared, 2 squared 4, 3 squared 9, 4 squared 16, 5 squared 25, 36 squared, 6 squared 36, up to the 81. Okay, so you can see this is a long method of doing it. So this one is an example without list comprehension. Now, how does list with comprehension work? How will it work? Let's see. Just come and say squares is equals to curly x times 2 for x in range. You say your range should be like that. So range, let's say 10 again. I want us to see the result. You can see the same thing here. Is it the same thing? Or you want me to write print squares? It is still here. It is printing squares, and that this is what we are having. Okay? So you can see that small piece of code can bring you to that analysis. To creating a range and squaring each number. Okay? So you can see how comprehension will make your work easier. You don't have to write squares, Then for x in range, specify the range. Then now come and say squares dot now append. No, just say for ranging x times x raised to 2. For ranging, give the range. It will bring the output. Okay. Let's create a new file because this one we've used it for many things. Let me come here and create a new file called tuples. What is tuple? It is opposite, kinda. Not really opposite, but it's almost the opposite of the list. Okay? The practices in the list, like append, remove those ones, leave them there. Come here, let us deal with tuples. Tuple, a list is what? Is an ordered mutable, meaning it's changeable collection of items. What is an tuple? Is an ordered, same thing, not mutable, immutable. This is where the difference comes in. I want you to get me. Immutable collection. So this what is mutable? Mutable is tuples is not mutable, meaning some of the functions that we use to mute our or to change our to add, insert, to add, remove, pop, sort. But now in a tuple, we're being told that now things are very different here. We're being told that here it's immutable, meaning you cannot edit once you have created a list. Higher. So, what is the major difference between list and tuples? You say, unlike, if they ask the question, you say, unlike lists, tuples cannot be modified once they are created. Can you hear me? Okay, just a minute. You can see there's my microphone has failed. I will use this one. 1 2. 1 2. Very nice. My microphone had failed. 1 2. Can you hear me? React if you can hear me. Thank you. Unlike list, tuples, they cannot be modified once they are created. So I want to show you how to create a tuple. Let's create a tuple. Let's create a tuple. So let me just call it my underscore tuple is equals to. Can we create let's create a mixed one, like one. They are the same as list, guys. Don't worry about that. Let me store apple again. Let me store banana. The rules remains the same. Okay. Then I come and you'll wonder what I'm doing, but you're going to see the difference. Print. my tuple to see the result, my underscore tuple. Then I run this part of code. You can see it is created. So how do you, that is just creating, just like the list. So you can see it is the same as list. So how do you do what? How do you access elements in, is it the same as list in a tuple? Is it the same as list? That is the question. I want you to ask yourself, is it the same as list? Yes. And indexing starts at 0, just as list. How? Let's try to access index 0. Print bracket, you say the name of your tuple, my underscore tuple, and then you put a 0, you run. See what is going to return. 1. So my tuple is 1, okay? Let's say -1. The negative ones now. Banana. So you can see it's just literally the same thing. It's just the same as in list. Okay? So you can see print, the -1 here is banana, and the last one is tuple 0. The first one is 1. So another thing I want to teach you is the common thing that is done using tuples is what we call unpacking. Unpacking tuples. How do you unpack tuples? Or what is this? Let's try and see what is this. So let's try to create variables, different variables, e.g. x, y, z, and say these ones are represented by what? 20, 30. Then I say print x. I copy this, control copy, enter, control V, y, enter, control. So you can see x, y. So you can see x, y, z, 10, 20, z, 10, 20. Assume 1 and banana. These one are the previous result. So you can see 10, 20, 30. So you can see I've packed them. Instead of creating, I will have done the x is equals to 20, y is equals to 30. But now I've decided to use the shortcut to pack them together, and I printed them independently. Okay? So you are wondering, you've already known the list. Why should I confuse you with tuples? Why? So most people will ask themselves, why use tuples? This is the main question here. Why, if you cannot edit it? So, number one, tuples are used to store things that are not cannot be changed. Things that should not be changed. Okay, let's say for example, awarded degrees. So you can say, for example, in the university they use the tuple to store. Once you graduate and you've been given first class, second upper, second lower pass, they store the information to a tuple so that no one can go to interfere with it, and then the student comes to raise an alarm that you guys gave me a pass and I am supposed to have a second lower. You see, the information is stored safely using a tuple. In short, just no tuple is used to store something that cannot be changed. Then number two, I want you to note that tuples are faster than lists. I want you to know that. Faster than lists. And this one makes them very, very what? Efficient when dealing with large collections that do not require modification. Okay, so if you want to access your data and you've stored in a tuple and another one has stored it in a list, the one stored in a tuple will be very easy to access the data. So I want to show you the way we've done common list operation like append, move, pop, insert. I want us to know common tuple operation. Now that I told you that they're not the same here, because now list you can't change, so you can't append. So the basic ones, I want to show you three. Most common, concatenation. But it is in Excel. So this one is used to combine two tuples using plus. Master that. To concat it is used to combine two tuples using. If you know concatenation in Excel, you're good to go. Okay. Another one is I'm trying to remember repetition. Repetition, it is used to repeat a list using a tier list. No, a tuple. Repeat a list using star. Hashtag 3, I will teach you slicing. So you see slicing they share. We had slicing in list. So this one is used to extract elements from a tuple. And one thing to note is just like in list. So they share slicing. You go to an interview now, you've sat down. The interviewer comes, you've gone there, prepared the whole night, you've done Python programs, build Python program and all that. Then the interviewer walks in and is like, hey, introduce yourself. You introduce yourself and then do every kind of introduction, place the papers on the table, and the interviewer is like, okay, this interview is going to take a minute. So, what common operation exists between list and tuples? Then you say, thank you for the question, append. You've gone home. So the common operation that occurs between list and tuples is slicing. And I know the work of slicing, okay? Used to extract elements in a list. So, number one, should I show you concatenation? So, I have tuple 1. This one is going to be very fast. Tuple 1, I've stored 1, 2, 3. Are you getting the difference between list and tuple? Have you realized that when creating tuple, we are using a normal bracket? When creating list, we are using the, you know it. Tuple 2 is, let's say 4, 5. So how do you concat? Let me create a new tuple or a combined tuple. Let me just call it a new tuple. New tuple, I want it to be tuple 1 plus tuple 2. What? Tuple 1 equals tuple 1. I said concatenation used to combine two tuples using plus, so you just say plus tuple 2. Tuple 2. So then you come and say print underscore tuple. We see if it's going to combine the values. I hope these ones, the other responses are not going to confuse you. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has combined tuple 1 and 2. Print. You can see tuple 1 alone is 1, 2, 3. But if you use plus, you can combine tuple 1 and tuple 2. So that is how concatenate works in Excel. Repetition. Repeating the same thing. Okay? So let us repeat tuple 1 times 3. So let me repeated underscore tuple. And I want to take tuple 1. I said here during the definition, I said repetition, repeat a tuple using star. Star is like times. So I say tuple 1 times 3. Then I run. Tuple 1 was 1, 2, 3. So has it run? Oh, so print. It's called what? Repeated tuple. So I'm supposed to print it. Can you hear me? My connection has gone. Let me try to see. I'm back. Sorry for the disturbance. My connection had gone for a minute. Can you see my screen? So I was saying, repeated tuple, you times 3. Just use times, okay? Then if you print repeated tuple, you see you've just taken tuple 1 times 3. I explained here, I say repetition, repeat a tuple, so you just use times 3. Then you can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me try tuple 9 is equals to John. Then repeat repair. Let me just call it repair is equals to tuple 9 times enter, run. Sorry, supposed to say print to see my repair because that is my name. John. Okay, you've seen how it works. The last thing I want to show you here is slicing. Slicing, just like we sliced in. I want to show you print. Then you say tuple 1. This is what we did, and you to something 400. But let's just say we want to specify the end so that it's going to pick from 1 to the end. So let's go. You can see the result is 2, 3 because tuple 1 was having 1, 2, 3, and 1 is index 0, 2 is index 1, 3 is index 3, 2 index 2. So you can see it's picking from index 1, which is 2, to 3 to the last. So it's returning 2, 3. So when I say 0, 0, it's going to return everything because it's from the beginning to the end. You can see it is here, it is here. So it is literally the same thing. Are you understanding? Is it interesting to learn lists and tuples? So I want us to do some exercise 1 of today. Error. I already have it, so let me call it list x1. I want to give ourselves a question. I want us to create and perform operations. So number 1, we are going to number 2 operation, we are going to remove. So I write here we go. So come here. Let's say numbers. We have which numbers? It is a list. So let me put the box bracket. Don't forget the tuple. 4, 8, 3. These are integers. Now they put them in what? In double quote. So when I print numbers, just to confirm if my list has been created, you can see 12, 4, 8, 3, 9. Good. So have you created a list? Have you created a list, guys? You guys, you agree that we've created? So because we've created a list, perform operation. So create a list we've created. Number 2, I want us to append. How do we append? Let's add number 7. So you just say numbers dot, say you want to add 7. What you do, it will add at the end. Then after doing that, I want to print numbers. Control X, come here, Control V, and append will add at the end. So 7 is there. Have you confirmed? Then I want us to remove L4. So let us remove 4. Let me just remove it from here. It will be numbers dot remove. Let's remove 4. So you just say 4, and you run. Then it's going to print. You can see 4 is missing. It has been has been removed. The last thing I want us to sort, so it's going to be numbers dot sort. We'll do from smallest to largest. Don't forget this one, okay? Smallest, largest. Right? Not arrange from smallest to largest. Can you hear me? Has gone. My connection. So let's wait for my connection to. I think uh, we had already cleared our first class. So maybe I'm just going to give you assignment. Then you can meet maybe in our next class. So at least we've done an exercise. That is the end of our class. Thank you for attending. God bless you. Have a nice evening. Follow up with the video. Practice every